I'm not being in the least bit aggressive. Would you like to show me some of your videos? Is it on Facebook? YouTube? Don't go anywhere.
Sorry, I've got a lot for the Manchester Football Fest as well. If you think that, I have a smash.
Maybe a bit smaller.
Oh wow. They both yours.
I feel like it's definitely like regulations or something like that.
I've heard a stamp for it. I wonder if it's both in the broadcast.
Some people do though. Some people come here honestly, and it's about publishing
I won't lie, I listen to
so
both
not
sides,
going to be.
but I don't antagonise the situation in the same thing. You know what I mean? And then I don't even give interviews anymore because I find them hard to give and not give opinions.
Yeah, I do. It makes sense.
Fair enough, yeah, some good stuff as well. I'm going to take you back to that chat then, so we're giving you less aggro. Alright.
I was feeling the edge anyway, I was getting to be about
No worries, have a good day.
You too.
Hello, Christine. How are you keeping? I'm fine. How are you? Yeah, that's that's the main thing.
Hi, Dan. All right, mate. All right, mate. Yeah. Thank you again for your contribution. It's great, mate.
Oh yeah.
Everybody happy for that?
All right. That's what you're going to get next time. Yeah, I suppose a little bit barely, right? Yeah, oh yeah, I was yeah, I did, yeah. There needs to be a fight back, doesn't there, really? You know, what's the social force in society that can mount that intelligence? You know, and they're strong, but they don't know what they've been studied. They only know that they're Can we just give you a phone on... Yeah, just give you a phone. Just go into that more, not
1, 2. Yeah. It's too
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
once you get out of it, once you get cycles in where we go on the Telford road, turn right to and then you'll go work it. And once you're on that plateau, it's actually quite flat. So you can do a nice run. You go down it, fantastic. No, you got to. Okay, go on then.
But you know, I'm lazy as well. Oh, no.
Okay.
She's like you, she's quite petite. So what she found is what she gets a lot of loads of people. So she is specialist. She's really quite hot. She was racing. She was trying to absolutely
Don't go anywhere until that coffee.
I'd say I'm more
Yeah, I went to cover that, so I think covered it. I thought I couldn't get to
Having a conversation.
you just feel like rather than okay, the other side, this side now. And I didn't talk on that side, I wandered around. What this as well, whether it's road or not, that's what I've been good with Telford. But staying on both sides. Just keep the Telford there. The other side is
It's not like the lid in espresso. Oh, you remove the lid. Right. And just tilting it.
People hear me? Can I ask people to come round? We are going to begin. So if you come and wander around into the square. So great to see all the banners and stuff, so give you all a couple of minutes to get in.
Not yet, now I've got
Good afternoon then, guys. Thanks a lot for coming. I'm Ash Silverstone. I'm the president of the Shropshire and Telford Trades Council. It's really great to see so many people here today. We've got lots of speakers, so I'm not going to speak for too long. It's really important that we're all out to show that actually we're here to support the victims. We want justice for those victims, but it's not about creating division. We need to celebrate the unity that we've got. Oh, we've gone again? No, right here in Telford. The first speaker that we've got is John. John's president of Shropshire Stand Up to Racism. So, John, over to you.
Thank you, Ash. Hello, how are we? It's good to see you all. I have to say that this has been a very long... Oh, hello. Should I say closer? Yeah. Bluetooth, eh? It's a long road to get here, but finally we're here, seeing a lot of good people here standing up against racism, standing up against Tommy Robinson and the fascists that follow him. We are here to make a change for the good, not for the better, not to divide, but to unite and unify. It's not good enough acting the way Tommy Robinson and those fascists are acting. We deserve better as a society. We deserve better as people of Telford and the surrounding areas. When we march today, we're marching in unity. We are marching in celebration. We are marching because we know what is right. And we stand together to show Robinson and his fascists what they mean to us. And that is nothing. It will mean nothing to us. Because we are standing against them. So thank you for coming today. It means an awful lot to the people who've been organising this. It really does. So all I can say is thank you from me and from the people who've helped organise it, from the Trades Council. Just thank you.
Thanks, sir. All right, just to introduce myself, my name is Naila Ashraf. I'm from Stand Up to Racism. I want to start by thanking the local Trades Council that helped mobilise and build this demonstration and are supporting the demonstration alongside Stand Up to Racism. It is really important that we're here today and we send a clear message to Tommy Robinson that actually he's not welcome in this town. And I'm really proud to say that I'm from Manchester, I'm from the Northwest, and we kicked him into the gutter when he thought he was going to represent the Northwest for the MEP-ship. So I want to say, wherever he goes, we come out and we oppose him. It's really important we do that because we never allow him to have space to grow, to spread his filth and to spread his hate and to spread his fear, because that's what he is about. And our movement is about unity, about black and white people standing together. So I am really proud to be here today with everybody else. And as I said, it's fantastic that the Trades Council is supporting this event. As Stand Up to Racism, we recognise that the strength of our movement comes from the support that we get from the trade union movement. And therefore I want to introduce another trade union activist. He's part of the NEU. I'm going to give you... He's not quite ready, but I'm going to introduce Doug, and he's going to say a few words about why his union is supporting this event and why he's here helping us build and stand up against Tom Robinson.
Cheers, thanks very much. My name is Doug Morgan. I'm an Assistant Secretary of Birmingham National Education Union, also active in a whole number of other things, Birmingham Climate Justice Campaign, the Trades Council, Socialist Worker, and a whole other things. And it's really good that people are coming out here. And let's be honest, most of us would have quite happily spent today in the park, quite happily spent today in a beer garden or with family or at a barbecue, where most of us would quite happily be somewhere else. And I think that that's okay. That is absolutely okay. But I think the thing for us is that we know that if we don't come out to oppose the fascists, if we don't come out to stand up against them, then actually what they do is they allow their filth, their drivel to divide communities. And that's what Tommy Robinson wants to do here. Tommy Robinson does not give a toss about the victims. He couldn't give a toss about the girls that got abused in Telford. He couldn't give a toss, to be honest, about the girls who get abused anywhere. He's not interested in that. He was part of the English Defence League, an organisation that was riddled with paedophiles. I know that I think there's a list over there actually of the paedophiles that was in the EDL. Tommy Robinson helped hide them. And as I said here the last time, for him, it's not a case really of him being against abuse. It's about him saying that only certain abuse is all right. If it's done by someone who's white, it's all right. So that's what Tommy Robinson stands for. So he doesn't stand in solidarity with the victims, doesn't stand in solidarity with the girls. He's not outraged about what happened to them, not a bit. He's coming to Telford because he thinks it's an area he can grow. He thinks it's an area where fascists can grow and divide communities. And so we're standing here today. We're from Telford. We're not from Telford, but we're coming out to say we're not for division. We're not for division. We're absolutely for justice for the victims, but we are not for fascist division, because that's all they want to do. They want to cause hatred amongst communities. And so we need to stand up against it. We need to stand up against it, because actually there are lots of people who are at fault over this. Lots of people who are at fault of this. The perpetrators absolutely at fault. The police, the council, social services, schools, all of these people didn't do their job. They should have done their job. They should have protected individuals, and they didn't protect individuals. And as I said before, one of the reasons they didn't do that is because they saw the victims as being troublemakers, victims of being people, you know, who might have been in care, who take up too much time, who do bad things. They're the problem. And we're saying that's absolutely the wrong way to do it. The problem were the perpetrators, absolutely. The problem was the system that allowed these children to become victims. That was the problem. But the answer is not Tommy Robinson, because as I said, he does not care. He doesn't care about the people of Telford. For the people of Telford, Tommy Robinson just sees you as a notch on his bedpost. That's all you are to him. You're nothing to him. He doesn't care about you. But if he can inflame, if he can get people fighting against each other, if he can get people attacking Muslims, then Tommy Robinson's there. Tommy Robinson likes that. And so we are saying absolutely none of it. We are not in favour of our communities being divided, not in favour of Tommy Robinson using Telford or any other town as a place to spread his filth. We are not in favour of the fascists. So we're coming out here to protest today. And if you're in Telford and you're wondering why people keep coming to your town, we're here because they're here. We're here because the fascists are here. But what we're saying to people in Telford is you can make certain the fascists don't turn up by turning out on these protests. You can make certain that the fascists don't turn up by showing opposition to them every single day of the week, by saying that Telford is a fascist-free zone, a Tommy Robinson-free zone. It isn't an area for growth. It's an area where people in Telford are going to put Tommy Robinson into the bin, because that is where he belongs. And in fighting for that unity, and us standing together fighting for this unity, then actually we're the ones that can make certain there is a better world that doesn't have perpetrators, doesn't have victims, and certainly doesn't have bloody fascists in it.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Every time he turns up, he just sets the stage on fire. The next speaker we've got is Louise from RMX. Thank you.
Hello, darlings. How are you? It's nice to see you all again. Who was here last time in February? Yeah. It's a bit of a bore, isn't it? It reminds me a bit of when my little boy's hamster used to escape from the cage. It's like, oh, not again. Little Tommy's got out again, hasn't he? He's gnawed through something, and we've got to get him back. With Echo the hamster, we use sunflower seeds. With Tommy, I suppose we could use Stone Island clothing discount vouchers, Weatherspoons tokens, Greg's sausage rolls, not the vegan ones, because they're traitors to our British sausage rolls. It's a shame we can't afford a long line of cocaine from here to Bedford, because he'd soon be back with me for that. But here we are again, sort of babysitting the fascists. But be fair, Tommy's had a bit of a difficult time lately. Oh. It's a shame, because he was in court yesterday again for the, 55,000th time recently. But he said in court that he didn't turn up last time because, now this is very serious, he's got mental health problems. He's got mental health problems because he's been harassed. It's because his voice does go like that, doesn't it? I've been harassed! I've been harassed! My life's in danger! I've been harassed! Mental health problems are very serious. They're not to be laughed at, but they're also not to be used because you don't fancy turning up in court because you've libelled and defamed a child who had to escape a war zone, and you've made their life hell, and been done for defamation by my friend Tasmin Unkaji, wonderful lawyer, and you've had to pay and you don't fancy paying, so you bunk off court. That's not a reason to use mental health problems as an excuse, is it? But he also said he was at Julian Assange's wedding, and that's why he couldn't go to the last court case. It wasn't on that day, but they're fascists, not factists. They don't do facts, do they? How would you know if Tommy, sadly, was a bit mentally befuddled? How would you tell the difference? Can you imagine? You'd be like, well, he doesn't seem to know what his name is. He's gone, I'm Stephen, I'm Tommy, I'm Wayne, I'm Paul, I'm Harris, Lennon, Yaxley, Lennon Robinson. So that's out, isn't it, completely? Doesn't seem to know where he is, whether he's at Assange's wedding or whether he's at home crying under the duvet. So that's another issue, you wouldn't know from that. And he seems to think he's a leader who's going to lead a race war, and yet he sort of loses every single time. Could be deluded, could just be Tommy Robinson. We don't know, do we? But he's had another bit of bad luck as well. He's lost his right-hand man. I use the term advisedly. Danny Tomo. Anyone know who Danny Tomo is? Danny Tomo was like his bestest mate in the whole world, and his bodyguard and his security detail. Danny Tomo also is a failed kidnapper. A failed kidnapper. Like, being a kidnapper is quite bad, but doing what Danny did in kidnapping the wrong person, it's a little tiny bit embarrassing. And this poor bloke was going, it's not me, you know who I am, you mugs, it's not me, you've got the wrong bloody person. He's hanging onto the door frame with his fingertips. Danny's trying to get him in the car, it's not working. They realise they've got the wrong person. So if you're a criminal mastermind, what do you do then? You go on Facebook and apologise. Sorry mate, no, I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, we got the wrong person when we tried to kidnap you. Astonishingly, he got done for that. And the judge almost felt sorry for him. You could see the judge was like, oh God, this poor bloke. He's incredibly stupid, even for the criminals that I see. That's Danny Tomo. But Danny was here in Telford with Tommy, forging relationships, re-exploiting some of the poor women and girls who've been through absolute horrors. We all agree. Being groomed is torture. Being groomed is an absolute nightmare. He's now stood down. He's not working with Tommy anymore. Great tragedy for the movement. I would like to speculate about why, because some of the things I've heard about the way he was really treating some of these exploited women and girls here would lead you to wonder just how much Danny Tomo cared about them. But when I say he's Tommy Robinson's right-hand man, there was a video. There was a video of Danny Tomo a while ago having, how can we put this, a moment of self-care, perhaps? An intimate moment, a passionate moment with someone he loved, himself. He'd filmed this intimate moment for his girlfriend at the time, which is confusing given that he's a good Christian husband and father, a married man who believes in Christianity. So quite why he had a girlfriend and quite why he was filming that for her, we don't really know. But then the video got, I use the term advisedly, leaked by, if anyone saw it, you'll never get over it, I'm so sorry, by this girlfriend when they split up, presumably when he went back to his wife. And I upset him once because I asked him about this video because he turned up on a demo and he was harassing a Muslim friend of mine. I went over to have a little chat. And it's rude, isn't it? If someone you know has got a film out, it's rude not to mention it. So I thought I'd mention it to Danny. He didn't like me mentioning it. He didn't like me. All I did was ask him if it was true that it was in fact like a penis but smaller. He didn't take kindly to that at all. But very, very sadly, yes, Danny has now left the Tommy Robinson enclave, which is of course very sad. Now, it's not to say you can't be a raging wrong-un and still care about abused children. Of course you can. I would suggest they don't. I would suggest these lists, if my glamorous assistants can hold these lists up, if people want to come and have a look at some of these are lists of around 65 far-right convicted paedophiles and rapists, and one murderer who raped and murdered a 15-year-old girl who he'd been grooming. They are never, ever, ever mentioned by Tommy Robinson. Why? Why are they not? If he cares about paedophiles. I do too. I was a victim of child sexual abuse from 4 to 12. I bloody well care, but I care whoever the perpetrators are. I care whoever the victims are. If there were paedophiles in any socialist group I was in, I would bloody well want them out and exposed. Why doesn't he? Why does he never address this? Why does he never address the fact that one of these men, Richard Price, was a really close friend of his in the EDL? And after Richard Price was put on the sex offenders register, Tommy Robinson called him a hero who had been stitched up by the police, and he wanted to get him out of prison. The amount of these men that were in the English Defence League makes you think that was actually an enormous bloody grooming gang. But we'll never hear a word about that from these bastards, will we? If that wasn't evidence enough that they are just here to exploit victims, to exploit the pain and suffering and blood and tears of children, raped children, imagine using that to plump up your bank account. Imagine using those girls to fund your coke habit. It's beyond disgusting. It is as disgusting as what was done to these girls in the first place. I want to talk about my friend Caitlin. My friend Caitlin was the survivor of a grooming gang. What she has been through would give you nightmares. Just reading her book, which is called Please Let Me Go, I recommend it if you've got a strong enough soul and stomach to read it. What she went through from childhood, absolutely appalling. It doesn't go away when you've been abused like she was, when you've been tortured and tormented from childhood by multiple men. It doesn't go away. The effects go on through your life. She has massive health problems. She's had to have numerous abortions. She's had 2 children by perpetrators who she loves and adores, but that's been, can you imagine what a struggle that has been? She's been in hospital because she has ongoing health problems from what happened to her, as you would imagine. One of her issues, and this is just to give you an idea of how this stuff wrecks your life, potentially, is that she was drugged by these men. So she had needles put in her arm. She cannot now have her bloods done, even when she needs to. She cannot bear it. Can you blame her? She can't bear to have a needle anywhere near unless she's sedated. But the NHS is busy. She's really ill at the moment. She desperately needs a blood test. They wouldn't sedate her in hospital. She ended up crying in a corner. Not the NHS's fault. They are so understaffed. How do you deal with how badly she's been damaged? She can't even have her bloods done when she needs to for her health because of these bastards. When she managed to get free of the grooming gang, she was approached by some very nice young men who wanted to help her, who offered her support, who offered her financial help, because what she wanted was counselling. You all know how expensive counselling is and how hard it is to get on the NHS. You might get, if you're lucky, 6 sessions. What is that going to do when you've spent years of your life being raped by multiple men every day? What is that going to do? She was desperate to get some counselling, sort herself out, you know, for her kids, for herself. She's a wonderful mother, but she wanted to deal with this damage. And they said, we'll help you. And she said, I'd been told that you're connected to racists though, and I don't want anything to do with that. And they said, no, not at all. Come to our meetings. We just genuinely care about you. You can understand. That would have worked for me. I would have thought, thank God, at last, someone gives a damn about me. Because even after you've got away from these gangs, it's not like you would imagine. You're not sort of welcomed by this wonderful support team. You don't have counselling left and right. You just have to get on with your life if you're a working class girl, which she is. You just have to get on with trying to work and trying to support your kids and dealing with all these health problems. And then she went to a meeting or two. And that's when the mask dropped, was when they thought they got her. And that's when the Islamophobia, and that's when the racism came out. And that's when she had to try to get away from them. So she's then in a situation where she lives, some of these perpetrators are still around because the case fell through. We will never say that councils and police forces and the establishment have not failed these girls. Of course they have. Of course they have, and we oppose that because we genuinely care about them. And if they've done that because they were scared of being accused of racist, that is ridiculous, ludicrous, a failure of their responsibility and no excuse whatsoever. But yes, people were 100% failed. So she has to live seeing these perpetrators, and now she's got the far right on her case trying to exploit her. Imagine what life is like for her. So she wanted me to read out some of her words for you, if that's all right, because she finds it helpful to actually be heard. Just to be heard actually helps her, because no one has listened to her for most of her life. So here's Caitlin's story. I was groomed, trafficked and exploited from my early teens, right through my 20s and beyond. Yes, the perpetrators were Pakistani men, but they were also British, Australian, Italian men. There were also female perpetrators. Some people want you to believe it's culture or skin colour that causes abuse. It is not. Even I went through a period of believing that was the case because of some of the things that were said to me by some of the abusers. This was exaggerated by people I met later in life. When I was in a highly vulnerable state, I almost fell into the grips of the far right. My story was used by them to push a hateful agenda, hyper-focused on the Asian perpetrators. Yes, at one point I was abused by a majority of Pakistani men, but the thing you have to remember is this was a group at one period of time, guys who worked together and knew each other well. But if you look at my perpetrators alone, overall, it's a balanced mix of men from all over. When I was trafficked to Australia, 99% of my abusers were white men. Yes, the Asians did call me a white bitch and a white slut. But guess what? The other guys did too, even the white ones. And I can tell you that the white men were as brutal as some of the Asians. It's got nothing to do with skin colour. It should be about my trauma. It's hugely damaging with lifelong effects. Why not acknowledge all the damage? Why not listen to the victims' stories? Why not validate all of it? What we have here is a middle-aged white man, Tommy Robinson, who has absolutely no first-hand experience at the inside of these trafficking gangs. We saw it first-hand. And no, knowing someone who's been through it, because Robinson will use victims for his agenda and drag them onto the stage with him, is not first-hand experience. Going through is first-hand experience. It sickens me, she says, to see these groups raising funds to, quote, make a difference to victims of trafficking and CSE. Actually, they do, and she apologises for her language here, fuck all, to help victims. It's all ego-driven, financially driven nonsense. They're causing more damage than good. They do no good. And they actually, this is really important, they actually re-traumatize victims with what they do. They're happy to cherry pick part of my own story when it suits their agenda. But when I was in their grips, when I corrected them on bits of the story, they'd misquoted. When I pointed out they were leaving out any perpetrator who wasn't white. What do you think they did? Do you think they care about victims? So obviously they were nice to her about that, right? They were supportive to her about that. No. They became abusive and angry. They attacked me relentlessly. They called me a race traitor and a liar. They said my children should be killed. They said my children should be thrown into the English Channel because they have bad genes, because they're the children of perpetrators. They told me, this is what they said to Caitlin, that I should kill myself. That's how much they care about victims. The list goes on. No one opposes anyone who genuinely wants to help victims. Of course they don't. We oppose the further exploitation of victims. But these looking to draw worried parents into their trap and make a quick buck of someone else's pain are disgraceful. I can honestly tell you that the actions of these far-right bullies, she's talking about seeing Robinson using her story, using people's stories. She has to see this in the newspaper. She has to hear this on the radio. I can honestly say this has led me to feel exactly the same darkness I felt when I was trafficked. It's affected her mental health. And I guarantee you I'm not the only victim of trafficking that's felt this way. They're re-abusing, they are re-grooming and emotionally abusing these women. It's absolutely vile and it needs to stop. She thanks you for being here today, and I would like to ask you to give the biggest round of applause you can to Caitlin. Go Caitlin! She's a legend. Thank you.
As always, thanks so much for that, Louise. So just to let people know what's going to happen today, or shortly, we are waiting for around 2 o'clock where we know that the far right, Tommy Robinson and his mates, are going to march. And at that point, we're going to march as well. So just to let people know that we will be marching shortly. So we're going to ask people to stick around until we do that. But what I'm going to do now is I want to just introduce Wayne and Dave, who's a co-convener of Standard Trade, who's going to say a few words.
I will first start off by thanking everybody for being here. Standing here united. Black, rock, Muslim, Jew, young, old, gay, straight, trans, everybody standing together for the unity. I want to start off by saying I've had the worst relationship with Tommy Robinson in my life. Yeah? It's been going on really too long. It started off with me being in the military. I started out like this. And then when I first started out, I was told
heading over to the other protest now. Smash like, share. just going to stop here for a sec. Stick of it. Hopefully we're still alive. that. Covering so much stuff up. Are you number one in Manchester? Well, maybe there are a few others, but I'd say the best. And yeah. We're probably heading back to London tonight, but Tommy is a good egg. He's a team player. Simon. Yeah, we'll go around the room. We'll go around. Good.
You should have been here long.
Well, there you go. That's the Bible, isn't it, eh? Where was I last time? You had Tommy Robbins. Okay, but you are literally blocking out, and your body needs a bit of food.
So the first thing you should do on any sunny day is spend 15 minutes out in the sun. Put sunblock on. Make you get your vitamin D. Right? Then put your sunblock on. But have you seen...
Sorry?
Oh, look. Yeah. Right, no.
Yeah.
So, it's called it's in a white bottle with orange yellow on it. It's very expensive,
Stop to the road, there, too.
They're ginger, and they still get sunflowers. Yeah, and it's waterproof. My husband's bald and blonde, so he puts it on his head.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's how you're going to get back to 50.
On the road.
Oh, you got that
and if someone like my friend, she's a beautician.
One day before.
Oh yeah.
You spread it as well,
finish. Empty-Dale, 4-1 to Preston. The Millers review will be tough for Empty-Dale. They've got a terrific home record. They didn't think it would be that.
I would imagine, yeah, usual.
Just one of the teams that they've not been able to do enough, although they had a tremendous revival since he took the helm, and the prospects are good for next season. It's not what's happened today. It's not the reason it ends for arguments.
Keep help corporate, get involved, join, help with the push back.
Hello.
Good afternoon, everybody. How is everybody today? I want to say something today. This is the most important day in May. I'm not saying something because my birthday's in May, but this is far more important than that. Because what this is about is the safety of the women and children of this country. And everybody standing here, first of all, before we do anything, I want to give yourself a round of applause for turning up today to stand for the daughters of England. For 40 years, the rape jihad has continued in this country. And now, with this series of films called The Rape of Britain, I genuinely believe that Tommy Robinson is bringing the rape of Britain to an end. But of course, today, it's not primarily about Tommy or about the speakers. It is about the brave women that have taken part in the making of these documentaries. They have shown courage that I have not seen from most of the men of England. The daughters of England have stood up, and we need to salute them. And you'll see today, as these two films unfold today, you will see courage like you have never seen before. But I want to say something to these young women who have taken a stand for what is right, because I tell you something, what this is about today, it's about the difference between right and wrong. It's not about left or right, it's about right or wrong. And you are right, you are right, you are right. What we'll find today as we stand today, how many people here stand with the daughters of England? Let's have a cheer for the daughters of England. Because the days of people turning the other way and ignoring this monstrous rape jihad that has gone in this country are over. It's finished. We're shining a light on the rapists. We're going to light them up and down this country. But today is about the young ladies and the old ladies. I've met them all. They are powerful, powerful, strong women that have taken part in these documentaries. Today is about them, and today they will be vindicated. For many years, they were ignored by the state. They were ignored by the police, and I'm not talking about the bobbies on the beat here. Nothing against them. I'm talking about the people in the high command of police services up and down England and Scotland and Wales that ignored the rape jihad and let it happen. They should hang their the vindication of these young women. But also, today is a day of vengeance. Who wants to see vengeance today? Who wants to see today? Because those men, and I'm going to... Munshi, are you watching from Pakistan? Munshi, because you're going to kill the rapist. Are you watching? Bash, the rapist and the facilitator. Are you watching? You're going to get lit. And that vile little Irish leprechaun, Strawberry, you're going to get lit. It's about vengeance, violent revenge against citizens. Is we're going to shine lights on these rapists, murderers. It's a pack. We're going to take you apart. You know, there's a video out on the internet and it talks about 300 Benalis. This is a Muslim drug gang. Telford in the Midlands, 300 of them. We've got 3,000 people that will stand against you. You are going down. It's also about victory. More important, these young ladies, they have stood against intimidation. Say it, you'll see it in the film. They have stood the most appalling violence. Films, they have the victory. We've got to ask a question. Very simple. How was this happen? Why did it happen? Let me tell you. The politically allowed it to happen. The have been called racist. Boo! Is taking white girls and raping them. Has to stop! And we all know we're at fault here. We've got... What do we think about the media? The media. Miserable for the past 10 years. Why? Because he told the truth. Tommy Robinson is a truth teller. Just trying to destroy his life. And I don't think he's been destroyed. Discredited. He's